out. They were digging the same dang pull tabs every freaking time instead of taking their trash out. It's idiot, idiocy, idiocracy. I don't know what you want to call it, but stupidity. It drove me crazy.
Now that makes me laugh. Honestly, that makes me laugh. Them digging their own pull tab that they've already dug up, like that's
I
actually,
guarantee you, yeah, it'd be the same beach the next day, and they would leave the pull tabs right beside their hole. And I'm like, uh, this person had to been pretty advanced in metal detecting because, they were out there every freaking time I turned around, and I always knew when that person was out there.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Honestly, if it was a beach or something that I don't think I'd call it off limits for a while, I would take just a whole bunch of Zinkins and like just throw them all over the beach, and then I don't know what else I'd find. I'd find something else and throw them all over the beach. I think it would be funny
Yeah,
though.
it's sad. It's really sad. And, it's just like we've talked about before. It's common courtesy, like especially when you're out hunting a plowed field or something, to put your iron in your bag, carry it off to the side. If you have to make a pile, come back, get it, that's fine. But, you and I, we usually try to bring up, if it's a large place like that, bring a backpack, throw it in there. How many hunts have you and I been to where we're, we're picking up everybody's, iron junk? It's frustrating, Take the trash.
Though I do have to say, this last week, I finally went around the property and picked up all my buckets of iron. I had an entire bucket of copper, brass, and an entire bucket of lead, and then I don't even know how many buckets of iron. It maybe 15, 14 or so, and I brought them to the recycling center. I'm like, I got to get rid of these, need to clean up the property for spring, start these buckets over. And so I get there, and thankfully, instead of just pulling onto the scale and then dumping all the buckets myself, the guy like looked at it and he's like, actually pull in right here. And I'm like, all right. So I pulled in, and he pulled the copper out and pulled the lead out, weighed them both. And then he's like, I was telling him, this is iron. Well, all the other buckets were iron. I'm like, this is iron. I've basically dug metal detecting. He's like, oh, you know, where? And I explained, farm fields and this, that, and the other. He's like, some of that. He's like, that thing right there, that would wreck a machine. I'm like, I know. I'm like, imagine carrying it a mile out of a field. He's like, so then I was like, I helped him unload the back of the truck, carried them all over to the scale. Then he took buckets and was carrying them to the iron dumpster, and I brought some over, and he kind of looked at me. I'm like, dude, I already carried all these. I got them in the back of my truck. And then there was one big piece that was hand forged. It was a big long chain that had a hook on the end. And it's just one of those things that I'm like, it's going to be sitting in the garden. It's just going to fade away and rust. And then I realized, I'm like, he didn't throw that in there. That ended up like next to like in a save pile. I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad maybe somebody else can find something to do with that. Cause when you pull out the hand forge, like the big things, I'm like, but I knew. I'm like, that one I carried, and that took me seriously, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes to get back to my truck with it. I think majority was
Wow.
in my backpack and then hanging over my shoulders. I put the hook in the my side pouch. I was like, it was one of those days where I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm carrying a big iron out of the field today.
Some of those big iron pieces, I mean, I dig most of the big iron anyway. I like decorating and doing stuff with the iron, like the iron horseshoes. I know you find tons of, what do you call it, the
Ox
ox,
shoes.
ox shoes. But, and I found my first ox shoe, I think, when I came to hunt with you last time I was there over a year ago, wasn't it? And we knew somebody. Who was it that found their? Was that?
You mean at Bone? It was I think it was
Yeah.
Paul and Ed had never found an ox shoe or whatnot, and I think they
Was
both
it
got ox
Ed that
shoes.
made?
It was Paul that made Ed the ox shoe,
Oh,
the display.
makes me sad. Oh, well, yeah. But see, we don't dig those here, so we do dig, horseshoes and parts of horseshoes and stuff. But I like decorating with them. I think they look cool, decoration wise, and I think those hooks and stuff make cool decoration too. They look cool in barns or just, I don't know. There's lots of different ways to make it look cool.
Yeah, I had it in the garden and the chain actually went all the way around it with the hook, and then, winter came, the leaves were on it, and then I was cleaning the garden and I'm like, nah, I gotta get rid of this. Like I need to, but I also know what's in the house for iron and what's in the house for all that stuff. I'm like, oh, I just can't. It needs to go. You got to have a clean out every once in a while. And yeah, I was like, that's getting added to the truck. It's happening.
Funny. Wow. Well, it sounds like you did well though. You got to go cash in some iron and some metal um, last week, and then you got out and did some mudlarking and found some cool stuff. And it's amazing how you spot those little beads. She is like the bead queen, and that blows my mind. I'm becoming more keen to finding them now than I ever have before. But those are I don't know how you got the eye eye for those. I love finding the marbles and stuff. Speaking of marbles, I did find one yesterday, just a plain white marble. Um, After Saturday, we went film, and so Sunday, Jackie and I got out. She had a client that gave us permission to go to check. The house was built like in the 50s, and before we started, I spied a marble, so I grabbed that marble, and then anyway, we started detecting. I found like 3 toy cars. 2 of them were old Volkswagen Bugs, and I thought that they were Tootsie toys, but I looked inside, and it doesn't say Tootsie. It says some other name, so I've got to find out what they are. But I love finding the old toys. But the coolest find there, no, well, I was going to say the coolest find. Well, Jackie, she found her very first silver quarter. And she hit it right on the head in 1964, the last year that the silver quarters were made. But that was really cool. She got her first silver quarter, and we got poured on, and we dug in the rain and the mud for a long time till it started lightning. And so we decided to call it quits. So this morning we decided to go back out there, and I ended up digging another toy car, and what else? I dug this really cool horse's head. It's off of the old fence that used to go there. And we showed the owner, and he definitely wants it. So I'm going to be able to give that back to the owner. So that was really cool. And anyway, I didn't get any silver today there. Found a bunch of wheat pennies, but there's big piles and piles of dirt, but it's dirt that was brought in, so it was covering most of the yard, so we only had a small portion of the yard to hunt, and the front yard was torn up like that as well, with rebar and stuff that they're about to put in there, so didn't really get to do that. So afterwards we were like, well, today even though it was warm, we're like, maybe we should go check out a tot lot. And she's like, let's go to that tot lot near where I live. And I was like, okay, let's go try it out. So we went, and then sure enough, after we'd been there a while, well, my very first hit actually turned out to be gold. I ended up getting, not sure quite yet what it is. It's either off of a pendant or a earring. Could be off a bracelet. I don't know. But it has a heart with stones in it. So I have great news, and I got to check it earlier when we got back, and it is diamonds in there. So I'm still not sure what gold it is yet. There is a marking, but I need more like a jeweler's loop to look. So got gold with diamond. Then we're detecting along, and I found a ring. It's just a costume, little kid's ring. And then she got a ring today as well, just another little kid's ring. And then as we were leaving, we were like, oh, shoot, the storm's coming in. Oh, my gosh. I mean, it was, the wind just kicked up. It was pouring rain and started lightning and thundering. And we're like, okay, about to go. And then sure enough, as I was walking out, I got another hit. And I looked down and I see a bracelet in the mulch. And it turned out to be a silver bracelet. So I got silver and gold today. And then I ended up getting a little cross, and I'm not sure if the cross is silver or what, but what a day. We both like so happy. She got a ring. I got, a ring. I got the silver bracelet and the gold, whatever it is. So yeah, we did great.
I'd
And
say treasure.
What?
I'd say that's treasure. So silver, gold, diamonds, rings, and a ring is a ring. Doesn't matter. It's a ring.
Right. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, I did not do a silver dance today. It was starting to storm, and so I went in. But I will say that Jackie did a silver dance when she found her silver quarter the day before. So I'm probably going to pull out my old, I need to come up with something new for gold. I'm either going to pull out my old kazoo or the duck call for my silver. And then for gold, yeah, it might warrant a dance. I will say that, do a gold dance. Especially when there's diamonds involved too, So, yeah, it was a great day, and I'm ready to get out again. I'm supposed to go home tomorrow, but Jackie was saying, hey, you could stay another night. And I'm like, well, what time do you work tomorrow? Because I'm sitting there thinking we could go hit another tot lot before I go. Oh, boy. We got these tot lots fever lately because of such good luck lately at the tot lots. So anyway.
I'd say so. And then that car might actually be a Lesney. I know sometimes they tend to look like Tootsies, and I think it's after the Tootsie, it's the Lesney, and then I'm trying to think of what comes before, like the Matchbox. And I think Lesney was a Matchbox, but England version. And those, yeah, they tend to look like a Tootsie. And I'm sorry, our weather is in your backyard. Please do not send it back. We do not want it back. I know I talked to you last week, and I'm like, it's 82 here right now. And you were like, it's 60 and raining. I'm like, no, you can keep it. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, it has been raining. We have gotten so much rain this spring, and I tell